This is Unit 4 Form of 1's video 1 on rate of change. And we're just doing an introduction to rate of change here today. With rate of change, really all you need to know about it is that it's the change as you go up over the change as you go left or right, okay? So it's change of the distance going up and the change of the distance going right. Now sometimes it can go down, that's okay, that just means it's a negative rate of change. But we always want to go right. So in this problem here, the change in distance is 6, okay? And the change in time going right is 1. So this is what my rate of change would be, 6 miles per hour. Here on a graph here, we're just going to find the rate of change. What you need to know about a graph is you just have to pick 2 of the points on the graph. So on this graph here, we have 3 points to pick from. So let's just pick this one right here, and let's do this one here. So if I'm doing rate of change, again, I'm going to start here and I'm going to work my way to the right. Here I'm going to go up. So if you see I'm going up 1 unit. Now just remember, that's not really going up 1, because look at my y-axis there. That's worth 80, because it's 80 to 160. So it's 80 miles for my change going up in distance. Going right, it's also 1 unit, however, again, same thing. It's not counting by ones. That's from 2 to 4, so that's worth 2. So it's over 2 hours. Now we could simplify this. 80 divided by 2 would be 40. So my rate of change is 40 miles over an hour. Now, I don't have to pick those 2 points. I could have picked this point and this point. Let me do a different color there. I could have used this point and this point, okay? So that would show, so I do this, that would show a change of like from 80 to 240, that is 160, and then this is worth 4 here. So same thing here, that's 160 miles over 4 hours. Well, that does reduce. It reduces to the same thing as we had above, 40 miles for an hour, okay? So the rate of change here on this problem, it's going to be 40 miles per hour. Here we have a graph where there's a lot of different line segments here. We're going to do some practice on this, just looking at a few of these segments and do the rates on this. Now when we do this, we want to make sure we pick an exact point. I could pick a point like right in here. Let me do something different here. I could pick a point like right here. Well, okay, so that's about maybe 24 possibly, but I don't want to guess. I want to have a point like right there and like right there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use points like those. Point right there, point right there. Those are exact points. All right, so if we're doing rise over run, because rate of change is rise over run, we'll talk about that more later. We're just going to go up, and then we're going to go to the right. Well, I'm looking here, that looks like from 40 to 80, so that's a change in 40. And then here, 1 to 2, that is worth 1, okay? So on line A, my change is 40 miles over 1 hour. That doesn't reduce, that's what our rate of change is. Let's look at B. That's a horizontal line. We have a point there and a point there. Those are exact points. Now on B, I'm not going up or down, okay? It's going left to right. There's no up or down movement here. So when I do this, I change in the height, the distance, there isn't any. It's 0 miles. We do go over 1 unit to the right, okay? So that's 1 hour. Well, 0 miles over 1 hour, that's 0 miles per hour, okay? So that's 0 miles per hour. Lastly, line E. We're looking here. I'm going to do a different color here. Line E, I'm looking for a good point here. Well, this looks like a point we can use. And a point right here we can use. Now, as we notice, the direction is going downhill, all right? We're going downward. So when you go downhill or downward, that is a negative direction, okay? So my change is negative, let's see, that's 120 to 60, so that's negative 60. And we go over 1. So my rate of change is negative 60 miles in 1 hour. Okay. Here we have a table of values. We're going to find the rate of change, and then we're going to determine if it is a constant rate of change. So let's just go ahead and plot these points. 2 and 70. We're going to do some guessing here. 2 and 70 is probably right about there on the line. 4 and 140. Okay, so maybe right about here. 6 and 210. Possibly right about there. And then 8 and 280. So that might be right about there. Okay. This should make a straight line, and it looks like it does. So we're just going to kind of make a line like so. We're going to label these points as well. This is 2 and 70. This is 4 and 140. So we're going to do rate of change. Okay. So when we do that, let me just do this. We go up and over. Well, 70 to 140, that is a distance of 70. And then we went from 2 to 4, so that was 2. So my rate of change is 70 miles over 2 hours. That does reduce. We can reduce this. 70 divided by 2 is 35. 35 miles for 1 hour. The question is it constant? Well, as I'm looking on this graph, it goes in a straight line, okay? That is one way to tell that it's constant, all right? Another way to tell, if I look at my table, I see, all right, it goes up 2, goes up 2, goes up 2 for hours. In the miles, it's going up 70 each step, okay? When that happens, when it's the same like that, that's constant rate of change. So yes, it is constant. Lastly, we have a word problem here. The cost of tickets to the amusement park is $19.50 for a ticket and $78 for 4 tickets. So I'm going to kind of finish off this graph here, make my axis. I'm going to put 2, 4, 6, and 8, so on and so forth there. Let's go ahead and plot these points. We're going to just kind of guess here. So $19.50 for 1 ticket. So that's right about, it's almost 20 actually. So let's guess right there. And then $78 for 4 tickets, so that's getting close to 80. So that's about right there. All right. So if we do a rate of change here, we're going to see what this vertical change, which is in dollars in this problem, is, and what our horizontal change in tickets would be. Well, so let me just put our points again on here. This was 1 in 1950, and this is 4 in 78. So if we're doing the math here, going up, 78 minus 1950, that would be 5850. Okay, and then this would be over 3. Okay, so my rate of change, $58.50 over 3 tickets. So we can calculate that. 58.50 divided by 3 is $19.50. So this is equal to $19.50 per ticket. All right, so this is your introduction and rate of change.